Also at 6, a new document obtained by 2 News Investigates suggests the parents of those 3 children murdered up in Bellefontaine were not fully complying with children's services before the kids were returned to them.
Brittany Pilkington is charged with murder. She's accused of suffocating her 3 sons over the span of about a year. Prosecutors say she admitted to those crimes. The court gave custody back to her and her husband, and 6 days later, their last son was dead. Investigative reporter Natalie Tyndall has gone through the document for you and is asking a local judge about the impact of something critical missing from the paperwork.
Well, this case plan recommended that Joseph and Brittany Pilkington undergo a psychological evaluation and follow any recommendations from that. It also said caseworkers would conduct unannounced visits to the family's home. Those were some of the items the parents were asked to agree to in June, but they refused to sign the paperwork. The Logan County Children's Services case plan was started after Noah and his older sister were taken away from their parents at the end of May and placed in foster care as part of a neglect investigation. The report details several recommendations for Brittany and Joseph to follow to help reunite them with their kids, such as the psychological evaluations. But on the signature portion of the page, it reads, "Would not sign" by both of their names. We asked Montgomery County Juvenile Court Judge Anthony Capizzi, who is not involved in the Pilkington case, to weigh in on these types of documents.
It elaborates to the family and to the lawyers and to the court what has to be done for these children to be returned to these parents or these custodians.
He says the main goal of these case plans is to reunite the family.
But legally, parents don't have to agree to this to get their kids back.
Legally, they don't have to sign it. That's true. That's a play on words, and I understand that. But if they don't sign it, they may still follow through on the obligations under it.
Judge Capizzi says some parents won't agree with one of the recommendations and refuse to sign it, but will still work on the other goals. He says when he's deciding whether kids should be placed back with their parents, he wants to see progress. He says a signature is part of that, but it's not essential.
It shows an attitude, and it shows a willingness to cooperate or not cooperate, and that, again, the court takes it into consideration. But at least in my personal case, I would not find, because the person failed to sign it, that they would never get their kids back.
Now, the plan also notes there was no concern by Children's Services about domestic violence or the physical or cognitive abilities of the parents. We also know that the Pilkingtons were allowed supervised visits with their children while in foster care. Natalie Tyndall, 2 News Investigates.